The culture was a real form of entertainment on X because every day some guy says something outrageous and then some other guy has to defend it. And today there was this guy, oh, I think it was yesterday, there was Matt Walsh versus Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, Matt Walsh is an Irish American and he's white. And then Vivek Ramaswamy is an Indian American. He's Indian. So already there lies the grounds for a virtual race war. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy is saying that being American is something that you can adopt. It's something that anyone can, like, if you immigrate to America and adopt the values, then you become an American, and then become a citizen, and then you're an American. And then Matt Walsh takes the opposite view, saying that a real American is the descendant of the Mayflower people, the people who came on the ship, the Mayflower, 300 years ago. And he has to be white and has to be having Anglo Saxon roots, and it has to be Christian because that's what the forefathers would have wanted. So that's his definition of a real American. He's saying that if you import 350 million Africans and put them in America with the same values as Americans, those are not Americans. Those will not become American. Now, I see both sides of the story as valid, but then the problem with Matt Walsh's view is that he fails to take into consideration that one, America is a nation of immigrants. America is a country which became 300 million people mostly because of people coming from somewhere else. Now, granted, according to his worldview, the immigrants came from Europe, so we don't classify them as immigrants because they're from Europe. But the fundamental principle behind America is that America was a colony. It was a British colony, in the same way that Canada was a colony, in the same way that Australia was a British colony, in the same way that South Africa was a British colony, and in the same way that most countries in Africa were British colonies. Now, the difference between Africa and America in terms of what happened in history is that the African colonies gained independence and the native people took over. In America, the Americans gained independence and the immigrants took over. The native people disappeared for some reason, and that's another story. So now, the current American whites claim to be, a lot of them claim to be the native people, which is historically inaccurate, just looking at the skin color. But I digress. So, if you were to place that, to accept that conservative thinking will lean towards things not changing, things remaining the same, then that argument becomes stronger. But here in this argument are two conservatives. Vivek Ramaswamy is a staunch conservative, and so is Matt Walsh. The only difference is that Vivek Ramaswamy has a brown skin, and Matt Walsh is white. So these people's worldview are the same, is the same, but different in that Matt Walsh's worldview is rooted in a white supremacist mindset because he doesn't believe that even if because if you watch if you read his statements on Twitter, he hardly ever mentions black Americans who were also part of this historical journey to becoming the Americans today that we know. He always mentions them in a bad light. He, by his worldview, they are not really Americans. Real Americans are white Americans. But as we all know through with history, black Americans were part of the journey and suffered under the boot of the white American. So his worldview is a bit less developed than Vivek Ramaswamy's worldview. But we can argue for his worldview as well because Japan is doing the same thing. Japan has remained homogenous and has had a strict immigration policy because they wanted to maintain the texture of the country, the quality of the country, or the country as they know it, which is allowed because Japan has existed for way longer than America. And I would say Matt Walsh's view holds more water if he was talking about Europe, because Europe is the homeland of the Anglo-Saxon. Now, if you were to argue what he's arguing about America in Europe, it would make more sense because that is the native homeland of the Caucasian. And the same can be said about Africa, the same can be said about India. But the colonies, such as the Americas and Australia, as such, have had their native people decimated to such an extent that they become like minorities in their original homeland. So the world is a big bad place. We have to accept what history made of this world. It's not fair. It's something that as adults we have to accept. But then what makes him why can't he accept that ever since the invention of the aeroplane, the world has become a global village? Ever since the invention of the aeroplane, migration has been 100 times faster than it was 100 years ago. It is now easier to migrate to across the world to the other side of the world than it was in at any time in history. So what that means is that the world is changing and becoming globalized, which is a bad word in conservative sectors because globalization means changing of things. Globalization means that you mix people, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to accept that. Now, I understand that sometimes when things are good, you you don't want to mess it up. Sometimes you feel like your country is good. If I bring in more people from places which are struggling, they'll bring that struggling with them and make my country worse. But then, if you look at history, remember, your country was not always good, and it was made better because of the people who came there. Now, The problem with with people who think like this is that they want to nitpick. Their companies want cheap labor, and their companies keep bringing in um, talented foreign workers to work for cheap. So they do want immigration, but only at their only at the exploitation of the immigrants. So which one is it? Do you want to portray yourself as a moral country? Do you want to portray yourself as a defender of democracy, a benevolent empire, or do you want to come all out and become the asshole country that we see America becoming these days, with the bombing of of fishermen and the the ill treatment of immigrants? Which one is it? Because at the end of the day, you have to have a national identity, and the national identity that America portrayed to the world was a benevolent one. People were watching American movies, and they saw America as a place of hope, a place of liberty, a place of acceptance. So which one is it? You have to have a national identity that you can show to the world and say, okay, world, I'm this, and take it or leave it. Because at the moment, we don't know what really America is. It's weird. It's weird. But the thing is, what's funny about Matt Walsh and Vivek's debate is the longing that Vivek has to be accepted. It's it's oozing through him. He really, really wants people to accept almost a liberal view of the world. That no, everyone is equal. Everyone is give everyone a chance to work according to merit, of course. But he can see deep down inside that they always see him as the other. They want to place him in a hierarchy, and and that place is lower. So you will get someone as talentless as Matt Walsh, who is just a mouth speaking. Ultimately, he doesn't have much skills besides proclaiming that I am white, so I am better. And then Vivek, as much as I don't agree with a lot of his politics, he is a super smart and well accomplished billionaire. He has, his grades in I think he went to Princeton or Harvard, one of those top schools. He had top grades. He had a biology degree or something like that. He founded a company and made hundreds of millions of dollars. And he had another degree also in law, I think. He's a well-rounded, accomplished person who would make a pretty good president, a way better president than what America has right now. But because of his skin color, he has to struggle to get acceptance from the real, real Americans.